Alright, and here we are with Ready or Not. I will be doing the mission, A New America. But this time it's going to be a little bit different. And you'll see what I mean here momentarily. So, I've gotten my team all worked out to what I believe will help the most. And now, without any further ado, boiling point, I did complete it. But I did not get the S rank, so therefore I don't believe I get the doohickey. So, with that being said, I'm gonna launch into this mission, and then take it away, post-editing me. Thank you, previous me. Post-editing Possum here with your post-edit commentary. I get to watch back my footage now so I can do this epic, all-time awesome commentary. So, the whole thing with this mission, if you're like me and you're doing a lethal S tier with the mod No Mercy for Terrorists and whatnot, is usually how I play anyway. It cuts down a little bit. I'm not saying that I'm better than anybody else. The people who can actually fully S tier without mods, you guys are the A team. Like, I'd love to play with people that can do that. But the whole thing with this mission is that you don't have to move fast until the very end. This mission is very much controllable. It is very controllable, actually, as a matter of fact. And with that being said, there's a lot of nuances to this, a lot of things that we have never seen before, like the use of motion tracking traps, which only show up under IR, or like IR capable devices like night vision or the mirror gun. In previous attempts, I started noticing, like, when I would check under doors and I'd see like a little beam of light. That tips me off to a lot of, you know, what is this? What's going on with this? And so I would flip down my night vision, I'd be able to see it. So this map in particular, you really want to run night vision the whole entire time. Use the IR laser, and that's how you basically do this map. As for tactics, I highly suggest just move slow, take your time. There's nothing you need to hurry with until the very, very end. The whole trick to it is just checking corners, moving slow, and using your ears. You just have to use your ears. Like, just listen behind doors, listen to the environment around you, because this game is very, very heavily played by the sounds around you. If you have a good set of headphones, you're in luck. If not, you're still able to do it, because this game relies heavily on sound. With that being said, you don't want to fully open doors. You see that I'm just checking the door locks, I'm peeking the door, and I'm just letting myself creep in naturally. I'm in a crouch stance, and with the use of gunfighter, I know I might catch a lot of flack for it, but this is the map to be very, very quiet. Just listen to your surroundings, listen to the environment, what it's telling you. Like I said, there's no reason to hurry until the very, very end. And you'll see how I do it at the very, very end. You want to take your time checking every corner, every room, because this map, it really threw me for a loop. It reminded me of the hotel map. There's a lot of rooms to go through.
Talk, do you read me? Come in.
And it's a mix of close quarters and long sight lines. Like, I would say maybe the equivalent of like 30 to 50 yards for my American audience, and whatever they say in metric. But all you really have to do is you just check your corners, you move slow, you take your time, slow is smooth, smooth is fast. And you eventually, you play this map enough times, you pick up on little nuances. And it's crazy to think that you see what I mean? Like, you see the little laser going across the hall there. And what that will do is it will actually alert the MLO agents and the Black Sentinel group to where you are, and they will just rush you. So like I said, just take your time, you disarm everything. You'll see, like, sometimes there's a laser going across the floor. It's not in a good area, so therefore I have to find an alternative route and then disarm it from a different angle. I am talking so much that I had to yawn. I apologize. But yeah, you see, I'm just moving slow. I'm taking my time. I'm listening. I'm actively, like, shifting my eyes back and forth. I'm watching. I'm looking for anything that can give a suspect away. At this point in time, I am more concerned with spotting threats rather than putting them down right now. And once I do spot a threat, it's usually right off the rip. It's go time. It's on. So I don't yell for compliance. And perfect time. I had to yawn right when I was about to say something about the MLO guy. So right now, because I've moved so quietly, I haven't let off any shots. I haven't had to let off any shots. Those guys are blissfully unaware, and you'll see what I'm about to do here. I check the door to make sure if it's unlocked or locked. I'm gonna peek the door. I'll make sure my canted sights, I'm gonna get in a good sight line and drop them just like that. Like, I'm not looking for compliance. I'm not looking to arrest anybody except the guy up at the very, very top.
One suspect down. Breathing.
Had to take a drink of water. Now, I don't know if this actually plays a role. I'm sure it does. But
Arrest him.
Restraining.
I am tired. This like I said, it took me over 2 hours to do this. And this is just the last hour of it to do it.
Generator, though. It'll kick in fast.
I had a lot of fun playing this, as much as it irritated the ever-living hell out of me. It was still fun because it was something new. It gave me something to focus on.
Might be able to catch those fuckers off guard.
A lot of these maps, the new ones, the last two anyway, there's a lot of interactables within the map itself, like the key cards, the laptops, card readers, electrical panels, things like that. It really does make you kind of feel like a SWAT operator, and you're like, I have to cut the power here, and that will give us an advantage or a disadvantage. Honestly, I thought it would cut the lights so that maybe they would have a hard time seeing in the middle of the night, but they did not. But the electrical panel did not do that. I am just yawning up a storm. But you'll see, like, I'm not yelling for compliance at all. As soon as I see somebody and they look like they have a gun, I'm actively putting them down and letting my team do the cleanup.
Got a bag.
I also outfitted everybody with heavy armor, shields on their backs, just to make life a little bit easier.
Might get us some extra access.
They are also loaded down with flashbangs, they're loaded down with gas, so any possible thing that could go wrong, we should have had a counter for. And I'm actively reloading. I'm checking all my mags. I'm making sure everything is good to go. Like, if you have to switch to your pistol in this map, if you're doing just a lethal run, you are in a bad spot, because every single one of the suspects that I know of are wearing armor. They are wearing armored vests. Also, when the static starts coming in, when you're like reporting things to talk, that happens for a little while. I don't know who else has played this mission, but it was... They try to get in your head. They start saying things, they try to get in your head to distract you, and what you really have to do is, like with Sans, is that you just tune everything out. You literally have to tune everything out and just focus. You tune out all the BS that they start saying on the radio, and you just listen for footsteps, you start listening for spoken words, any dialogue, and usually that lands you a win. Like, as soon as I started doing silent runs on this, like last night, that's where I got my A or A plus from. The only reason why I did not get an S rank is because 2 of my officers fell. They were KIA, which sucked. It sucked a lot. But you see, like, all my guys they all have battle rifles, because on this map, everyone's wearing armor. So your best bet is to wear heavy armor, gas mask. Yep, I'm listening to what they're saying right now, but as soon as the MLO guy starts talking, you'll see me, I start like tuning it out. I'm listening. Oh, fuck! Why am I yawning? I'm not breathing enough. But as soon as the MLO guy starts coming over the radio and he's like talking all his mads amount of shit, I just tune him out and don't listen to him. I actively keep listening for footsteps or any kind of spoken dialogue. I swapped over to my 9 bangs. And here's the thing about the map, if you didn't notice. There's a lot of doors with like glass vanities over top of them, so you could, in theory, you could mirror under the door. If it looks like a bad angle to throw inside the door, you can just lob a grenade through that glass and have a better shot at detaining your suspect if that's what you want to do. Let's see here, I'm peeking through the door and I'm putting the mirror gun through, trying to see if I see anything. And I don't, so I'm gonna move in. I'm gonna keep my eyes flicking back and forth. This is literally what you have to do if you have not played this game, or if you have and you're just continuously fudging it. The best option that I can say is just to keep your eyes peeled. And right now I listen for the footsteps. I hear somebody coming to my right, and as soon as they come around the corner, right about there, I just drop them. And even though Eli is telling, and even though Eli is telling me to move, I'm keeping my position until I know it's safe, and then I'll back out.
Suspect
And then I'll let Eli do his thing.
Suspect cuffed and secured.
All in the city falls further. You think this isn't sacred, but it is.
So now the MLO guy is talking to me. I don't know who it is. I'm sure there's something there that tells
Got one down.
you who it is, or it gives you an idea of who it might be. There might be a code name. I didn't see it in the office. There wasn't a whole lot for me to go off of because I wasn't actively lore hunting. But I mean, I could do it again. I could do it again, I'm sure. Oh. But now, because I was shot at, I'm taking even more time to assess my surroundings and get everything in order, just to make sure everything is good to go. Usually, I think this mission can be done in like 25 to 30 minutes, but because I didn't secure every floor, I didn't check every room, I was focused on getting up to the top. Was my priority because I fudged it so many times. It was like Fudgy the Whale. So, I'm yawning again. I need to go to bed after this, apparently. But it took me a while. It is 8:42 at night on the 16th. So the same day that I put up a quarantine zone video, I also did this because I was bound and determined. I was like, I want to get this watch. I want this achievement, and I want to do it now while it's still fresh in my brain and my mind is full of revenge. So, I am very, very, very dangerously close to the top now. This is where you need to start being even more careful. Because they can, and I've noticed this, they can blind fire hit you. And it's ridiculous, man. A lot of them use carbines with like the 5.56 caliber, and other guys use things like battle rifles to combat you. It is literally down to your senses and trying to figure out where they are going to come from to take care of everything.
They said something about the judge?
I definitely recommend the GA51. I talk about the loadouts at the very end.
I'll bag it.
But it is completely up to you on how you want to do your loadout. If you can do it with a carbine, perfect. If you move up to a battle rifle, even better, because the battle rifle will net you more 1 to 2 taps than having to switch to full auto and go through almost a full magazine on a 5.56 or 300 blackout rifle.
I got it.
Personally, I recommend like any rifle that shoots 7.62, like the GA51 or the G3A3, the Scar Heavy, the SA58, but the GA51 has a lot more controllability to it, in my opinion, so that's why I used it. I just stuck a suppressor, angle grip, the XE sight, the Tech-15, and flashlight. That's my battle rifle loadout. Well, this was the New America loadout. I literally made a complete loadout for this map. Just this map in particular, because that's how strongly I felt about it. And once you reach the top of these stairs, you'll notice the music starts swelling and getting more and more
Entry team to top. Divvy is ready.
epic, I guess is the word. But you see, I'm not focused on the subtitles. I'm not really focused on listening to the guy. I'm letting it passively go through my ears, but I'm also watching I'm watching my surroundings. I'm watching downrange. I'm seeing if anybody's gonna come to mess with me, and luckily they didn't here. There was a time where I just got swarmed, and it was honestly the most ridiculous thing in the entire world. But here's where you really got to start paying attention to literally everything. If you have subtitles on, it helps you out a lot. If not, okay, that's fine. But when you go through this, you don't want to go into the courtroom right off the rip. You do not want to go in there because that is how you instantly lose. That's how I found out one time. So the best course of action to actually take is to clear out everything here. And then remember, if you found it, where the signal jammer is, the signal spoofer, as I like to call it, or the spoofy woofy, is what I started calling it in my head. And once you find that, you want to clear out that entire upstairs area.
Moving into handcuffs.
And ironically, in my opinion, the absolute best way to handle this is, if you remember back from the training program that they put in here, how you would stack red team on one door and blue team on another door. That is literally how I actually did it. I had my boys loaded down with flashbangs, gas, C2 charges. And so what I did is I actually had them, I had one group stay there. I had, I believe, red team. I had red team stay there, and I queued up a command to put C2 on the door and breach it. And then I went back with blue team and just did a little bit of looking around trying to find the signal jammer. And then once I found it, I ran up to the other side of the courtroom and had them put a charge on the door. And then I queued that up, ready to go. And then I just executed the command at the same time. So you had both your red team and blue team breaching at the same time, blowing the doors open, throwing 9 bangs in. And it ultimately worked out in the end. And I was very happy with myself all the way up through it. The only thing was that we had to go back and look through everything to make sure, you know, where's all the civilians at. We have to grab all the civilians. We have to get all the suspects. And once you actually slow down and you just listen, you check your corners, you move through slowly, methodically, everything is fine. So this is the courtroom. And so you'll see me, what I'm doing is I'm just looking around.
Listen closely. It's already begun.
And I feel like, for some reason, I feel like the MLO is, it's something.
Element.
Like, I'd have to, like, formulate a theory. Like, maybe that's something we could do. Like, I could theory craft with you guys.
Post up and cover the area.
So basically, I've just given them the command to queue up a C2 9 bang and clear. So now I take blue team with me, And what we're gonna do is we're gonna go find the signal spoofer and also look for any contact along the way. We kept it nice and quiet. We just moved through our angles and everything was good to go. Like, I'm telling you, like, once you just slow down, there's no need to rush at all in this map. And the nice thing about it is that there is actually a convenient by the left side staircase when you're going up, and if you take a left, there's actually a refill ammo. So if you're low on bullets, you can just grab some more. I did, because who wouldn't, in my opinion. You know, apparently they've got the magazines for GA51s. And now I'm just checking the opposite side of the, I think they call this the Grand Hall. So I'm just holding down the Grand Hall. I'm checking down the other side, making sure that there's nothing here. There's nothing wild going on. Because this is where I actually posted blue team for when their breach was going on. So I've got red team on the opposite side. And then I have blue team on this side. But I'm not making entry yet because, and you see I just gave the nod, I didn't see anything, but it was hard to see anything because all of the pews are in the way, can't see anything, but I'm not having them post up yet. That was a very poor decision that I made the last time, is that I told them to hole up and I went off on my own looking for the signal spoofer, and I ended up getting clipped by some dude in the I believe it's the Norwegian frogmen, or the Danish special forces. One of those guys. They got like the fishnet veils over their heads and helmets. Pretty cool guys. But this was probably by far the most elaborate but fun missions that I've played in Ready or Not in a long time. I remember, and I remember back when Twisted Nerve was my favorite mission. This is a very close second, and I know I sound crazy for saying that probably, but this map, it really shows the difference between, you know, Elephant or what's the other one? The active gunman map.
Hands up! Drop to your
Elephant
knees.
was like that. I think.
I'll get them ready.
That's another one. But either the point I'm trying to make is,
Get me the hell out of here.
this is such a stark contrast. Like, if you go to Elephant and you are having to make decisions quickly, you have to move through, you have to pick your targets, you have to it's chaos all around, which is inaccuracy of exactly what it's like. You have to move through your targets, you have to get everything done in a small amount of time. And you see here, I see the refill. It kind of confuses me for a second, but, you know, I pop some more mags in. And I take a look. I'm like, oh, cool. More magazines. But, like I was saying, like, the stark contrast between Elephant and this, like, this map, literally, like I said before, you do not have to worry about making time until the literally very end of everything. Like, I'm just looking around, I'm making sure, I'm just looking for anything that could give me any indication of what's going on. And I see a laser trap there. And I see one of the dead SWAT guys of the platoon that came before us. And that tells me that that's near to where the signal spoofer is. Like, when you start seeing, like, the fallen members of another SWAT team, that's how you know you are very, very close to the signal spoofer. Had to take a drink of water because my voice is giving out. Or I started feeling it giving out. I'm sitting here, I look, I see all of that junk up there. I see the other SWAT member that's on the floor. And that's how I know, yep, this is the room that I need to be in. And so I peeked the door. I checked if it was, and there it is.
We found something. Laptop and a frequency emitter.
And this is the part where everything can go very, very good or very, very wrong. It can go very, very wrong, or it can go very, very good. So, the whole thing here is as soon as you hit that button to jam the frequency so you can get up to do your breach in the courtroom, that's when you have to start making time. And that's why I say clear out everything except for the courtroom at that moment before you hit the signal jammer, unless you're Billy Badass and you want to do some shit. So I'm going to do a stretch that was not really needed. I'm going to adjust Parmesan. This Parmesan's the homie. I'm going to take a last look around. I'm just going to make sure everything is clear. I'm going to go back in here, and I'm going to give the countdown of 3, 2, 1, and hit the counter frequency, and now I'm going to haul ass as fast as I can back upstairs with blue team on my tail, and I'm going. I have to, if you go up this way, then you just beeline it. Don't turn around, just beeline it. It's faster. So I'm going to run by this room. I'm going to take a quick peek, make sure no one's in there. And I'm going to keep running over to this. Red team is still in. I'm going to get these commands up and ready to go. And then I'm going to stop. I'm going to queue up C2, C2 with 9-bang. And then as soon as they are in position, and they tell me,
we're good to go.
as soon as they tell me the door's open, I switch to gold, and then I hit them at the same time. I think I made the mistake of putting my weapon here on full auto because I didn't.
I'll do it.
Readying
And targets. I started, it was just so chaotic. I didn't know what was going on. But I sat there and I was trying to figure out where I was being shot at from. But it turned out my boys took care of it. They dropped them, which was phenomenal. And I actually thought that I was in a moment where one of my guys had died. But it turns out they had not. So I quickly looked around, made sure the detonator was there. I disarmed this guy. Eli's yelling at me to move. You know how he is.
You do well under us.
Okay. Now, I'm just doing a quick count, making sure that everyone's alive. I'm sitting there asking myself, what the hell happened? I'm doing a BDA. I'm looking around. I'm looking for all my name tags. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. So now with all that information, Prescott, Eli, Swan, King. Okay, we're all alive. So I just did a quick check. I let myself know,
You're running out of time.
hey, everything is good to go. So now I'm able to tell my boys to fall back in here very shortly. And I realize, oh crap, you know, I don't have all of my objectives done. There's still civilians and suspects running around.
me.
On you.
So now I call in my whole team and we go in to figure everything out. You know, trying to find all the suspects, trying to find all the civilians, but I did not want to send these guys out on searches.
Okay, that was the hard part.
Yep, that was the hard part, as I said. Thank you, past me.
Oh,
But that was literally the hardest part.
we're all still alive.
And that's me.
Oh my god.
That's just me
All right.
reveling in the fact that, oh, I actually did it. Like, we actually somewhat saved this building and the other building from going up and being destroyed. So, with that being said, I was able to... I was very happy with myself that I was able to
Okay.
run through my targets like I did. I got everything good to go. And I see that, I'm like, oh,
Dumped almost half all of mag. Alright, now,
and now I'm just trying to...
all we have to do
Yep. Go
is
ahead.
find people.
Yep, thank you, pass off.
Find the rest of the civilians, find the rest of the suspects. Easy enough.
Yeah, easy enough. So, the main objective was taken down. I know. But now it's just come down to... Now I can, like, dial myself back down. I can
These guys aren't just regular thugs.
re-relax. And just...
I thought I remember hearing one in... near the mayor's office, or maybe he was in the mayor's office. I don't know.
So I'm just reminding myself here of where I thought I heard suspects or civilians.
You're very right. There are. Mine and my teams.
So, yeah, that's just me talking shit to the civilian that's locked up right now. But
There were cameras, tripods, all just left there.
I had
Shut.
to... I'm telling the guy to shut because, you know, I can't focus when the guy
What's going on?
just decides he wants to talk.
Great question.
And
He's over here somewhere.
so I'm just trying to listen in on where...
Show me your hands. Taking fire.
Hands up!
So
Above your head!
here I was
Down
a
on the
little bit
ground,
alarmed
now!
because I did not hear anything.
Or was he? Talk to me.
And I wish they would call out where they dropped somebody.
Where was he? Talk to me.
And I'm just trying to... I was hoping that, you know, maybe they'd say, oh yeah, I got the guy here. But that didn't happen. And now I'm taking my time because my arm, my legs are all jacked up. I think...
If I lose here, I'm gonna be so pissed.
Thank you, past self. But...
Because they don't call it out.
Yep. There you go. And now it's just picking targets, finding them. And I'm using my ears. I'm just listening to the environment. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. And I didn't even see this guy. I don't know where he was at. He was probably
Got him.
somewhere.
Good. Safe. Secure.
But
Down.
now I'm just shutting the door. I know they can hide in there in the mayor's office.
As long as
every
they're
once in a while.
dead, that's all I care about.
Damn it.
But yeah, it came to fruition on this.
Keep your hands behind your
Very,
back.
Please tell me
very
this is the
happy.
last civilian.
Civilian's good to go.
Look, I
Compliant.
won't move. I just need my hands free so I can do my job.
Looks like this place has been torn
Yeah,
apart.
this is the
Mayor leave
part
in a hurry.
that
Someone came through here in a hurry.
everybody hates. because now you have to try to find all the civilians. And in multiplayer, it's a whole lot easier when you come across civilians because you can just tell them to run to the exit. And that's great. And that's usually what I do anyways. I just tell people, run to the exit, get the hell out of here. I'm not gonna arrest you here, just run to the exit. Where is this fucking guy? Just run to the exit so I don't have to deal with you and you're not. And I heard the door open, I moved over, and I let my team deal with it because... There's another one. Because... Yep, and I hear this guy coming.
Hands on your head! Do it now!
So they incapacitated him, and I sent a late round that hit him in the head. So he is no longer a problem. And, you know, it is. This guy decided to die in the doorway
How the fuck am I
because he's just so cool. So now I have trouble looking under the door. I have to move all of that out of the way. And I don't remember yet. So there are civilians that the that the previous SWAT team that came through locked down. It's literally just this fucking shh. Yep, and now I have to go back down different floors, go through every room again, just make sure. If I stand in front of the door and he runs off, motherfucker. So obviously, well, no, I wouldn't say obviously I'm getting mad. I'm just getting mildly irritated because I'm having to go through and I'm having to find all of everything all over again, and no, that's on me.
Got nothing.
And, you know, I'm listening here. I'm listening to see if he makes any footsteps. He isn't, so I come through and I give him a few love taps with the GA-51. With the old battle rifle. Make sure he rethinks his choices. And turns out apparently he did not like that. It's a fan. And the fan threw me for a loop. I thought it was some guy crouching in a corner for a second, so it took me a little bit longer to figure that out. But yeah, you just mirror under the doors. You just take your time. And I had to take a minute here and get some water. Thank you for reminding myself. Preview past me. I'm gonna do the same thing. But like I said, like the overall like whole thing with this map is literally just taking your time, picking your targets, making sure you're hitting good shots. And everything will go good for you. I had to yawn again, but I didn't want to yawn really loud into the mic again. But, yep, now I'm just... Literally, the whole thing is just me going back through the rooms, checking everything, disarming the motion detectors because I don't know where suspects are. I didn't get a notification on the tablet saying, oh, all bad guys are done. Because if that was the case and I had gotten that, I would have just sent my team to search and secure and make sure everything was good to go. And let them deal with it. I definitely need to go to bed after this. Holy smokes. But, yeah, this was a pleasantly run mission, in my opinion. It went well. Was there some hiccups along the way? Absolutely. Every mission's gonna have hiccups. Especially complex ones like this, where there's like 3, 4, 5 different objectives that you have to deal with. And it's fun in a painful way. I think that's the best way I can describe it. Is it's fun in a painful way. And I just realized that I've been talking for like 44 minutes. Look at me go. Oh no, it hasn't been 45 minutes, but we're nearing the end. There is about, I don't know, I want to say like 15 more minutes of me looking around, just making sure I'm clearing this floor again, just looking for any civilians that got left behind, any other suspects that want to come
I
out
even knew
and
what was happening.
try to attack me. Or my team. Wait, what? Did we get all the suspects? And here's me thinking that I got them all. No. No, we did not. And until we do, I'm not having them search and secure. So there I just reiterated in what I just said not too long ago, that until like something to this magnitude, when there's cosmetics on the line and an S rank on the line. Now if it was something else, like, you know, I was playing gas station or something like that, I would, it's a small enough map to where I would feel comfortable enough saying, hey, go do BDA, search and secure everything. But with a map as big as this, there was no way in hell that I was about to send my guys running into possible gunfire, anything that would, you know, ruin my chances of getting an S rank again. Ugh, I'm just a yawny bitch. But here I am, just looking around, making sure, checking all these rooms again. I find a closed door. Ooh, what's in here? Don't know. This is where the stairs go. I closed that door, I tell myself. Now I'm going back down to the first floor where things are. And I'm like, oh, I wonder, like, that's the whole thing. You fight your way all the way up to the top, and then you work your way all the way back down to the bottom, and you clean up any stragglers, you pick up civilians, you tell them to run, or you arrest them on the spot. Usually I don't arrest people on the spot until all the suspects are dealt with. You know, I'm not having to deal with that anymore. So, yep, I'm just moving through the rooms because I figure, oh, people that were up top or ran down to the bottom, or, you know, people that were on the bottom are still on the bottom.
Can you take these off now?
And I'm just looking around, making sure. I'm using my ears. And this is the part where I move kind of a little bit more quickly because, you know, I've already been doing this for 2 hours. So it literally took me an hour to get to this point.
Securing the trap.
An hour, and I want to say it took me an hour to do this, or like 50 minutes in total to do this map completely. Pretty much. But as soon as I had looked at the tablet, or like the objective list, and all 5 things were scratched out, it was good to go. So here I am, just making sure, going through all the offices. Any closed door is subject to be opened now, because I'm on the 2nd floor. I believe I was on the 2nd floor here, not the 1st floor. My bad. Yeah, this was the 2nd floor. And I'm looking around. I was like, oh, there's that guy that I took out cleanly before. You know, maybe my team did. Yeah, so this is the 2nd floor. That's where the electrical door is. I'm just moving through, looking through everything, making sure people are, you know, taking a dirt nap or they're arrested, because your team hates telling them to run to the exit. Anytime I play with people, I tell them, hey, just tell the civilians to run to the exit. They'll be fine. Except on Elephant. Usually I'm just moving as fast as I can to take out the suspects, and then I go to find all the the other threats, and then I will start dealing with civilians as I find them. Right here, I'm just looking through the bathroom, make sure no one's hiding in here.
Dropping a
I
chem
drop a light stick to confirm that I've been there already, which is what I should have been doing in the first place, but I didn't for some reason. Maps like this, and I believe this was the last civilian
All
actually.
that stuff they were
I
saying,
had
they
to
just
find. Yep, there it is.
Civilian ready
I
for
see it.
transport.
I give myself a hell yeah. So
One of them was
now, in
shouting
my
about
mind,
justice.
with that notification up, I'm like, okay, anybody else I see standing or anybody else I hear is a threat. So now I'm going to lock the door, and this is actually where I thought my S rank was over.
Screaming.
Right here. And I'm just gonna let it play out so you guys can see it. And with that being said, this is the end. What? There is no motherfucking way. I shot that prick so many fucking times. That was the last fucking guy.
Looks clear over here, Bond.
Apparently I got it somehow, though. S rank, apparently. S rank. I S ranked it, apparently, somehow. Somehow.
Next to shooting at the range, disassembling and cleaning are just about the only recreational activities I fully commit to. But I'm also realizing today, I need new hobbies.
Damn, Judge. This shit is 7 shades fucked up.
Nice. Appreciate the wristwear, guys.
Oh, yo! A dope-ass watch. Case file Lily. Compiled by redacted codename Judge. Forwarded files Detective Sidney Reed, LSPD Detective Bureau, Classification Sensitive Internal. Unidentified actors disrupted a community charity at Blackwood Pier, later confirmed to be Los Navegantes del Caos, working on their behalf of their employers, who organized their multi-phase operation weaponizing specialist criminal groups and mercenaries to fulfill objectives. Los Navegantes del Caos moved HMX explosives and sealed chemical agent, later classified as a lethal neurotoxin referred to as chemical 4L1. I'm guessing that's leet speak for chemical all. Confirmed from bank operation forensics report, chemical origins traced back to Dr. Schwartz. Los Navegantes del Caos were abandoned by their employers at the scene after transporting the necessary materials. Theorized they were considered expendable to their employers and lacking the necessary skills beyond their smuggling capability. City response was emotionally turbulent in brief duration. Public perception briefly assumed LSPD involvement in the attack. Confusion and tragedy surrounding the event
caused riots to escalate further. Taking prey upon us at our most unguarded and vulnerable to instill a blanket of chaos for them to operate while the city was confused and mourning. We were split in all directions, chasing shadows in the wake of an attack on the populace at its most charitable. This was their first move, and only the beginning and most crude of their plans. So I'm assuming that we're going to be getting like more MLO content further on down the road. Unity Trust Bank was infiltrated by the same unidentified network that planned the pure attack during the riot surge. Initial profiling suggested Black Sentinel, particularly with their connection to Los Navegantes del Caos. Bot connections to their shadow employers were lacking at the time, and investigation turnover was short. Ammonium nitrate and fuel oil found at foundations and HMX and upper floors indicated intent to collapse the structure. Digital assets, investor accounts, and network infrastructure targeted possible risk to water infrastructure beneath the vault. Black Sentinel group employed by the same criminal network organizing citywide attacks, unlike the Del Caos BSG Black Sentinel group, and appear to be a prospective long-term contractor, with their employers rolling them into the latter phase of their operation at the Cordova Tower. Dude, I'm getting teared. So, Black Sentinel were recruits in waiting, courted with promises and ascensions into greater power, but they are no doubt as expendable as the pirates to them. The extraction and planned destruction to the bank were aimed to cause even further disruption, not just a simple advantageous robbery. The results affecting Dude. Not breathing enough. Disruption, not just a simple advantageous robbery. The results affecting all classes of society. The plans of their operation show an awareness of the systemic issues Los Sueños has, and yet they choose the systemic issues that Los Sueños has, and yet they choose to address them in extremist measures. What is their ultimate goal? A societal reset. But yeah, because the MLO talks a lot about like the about like a reset. That's like their thing. Remember Elysium. Now there's riots and shit going on out there. It looks like a police scanner. More files. I'm not gonna answer that yet. There's other stuff going on. The sex shop, hell yeah. Yeah. So like, this is all the case files that we were assigned to. That's crazy, bro. Yep, there it is. There's the MLO right there. And the Godhead. The Godhead, if I remember correctly, is like is their plan to, or like the Godhead is like overarching power over everything. I kind of look like a young guy. Hell yeah. I'm gonna heat up my food. Yeah! Fuck yeah, dude. I want to stand close to the microwave. Like my mom told me not to do. Judge seems like he'd be like a low mein kind of guy. Is that what that is? That Lao mein? Oh, come on, I want to eat my noodles. Alright, I'll answer the radio.
On my way.
Wait, I gotta take my food. Whoa. So do I get to watch now? Yeah! Yes! Oh, we gotta go and get the watch. Oh my god. I know it wasn't a true S rank. But at the end of the day, as long as the bad guys are taking a dirt nap and civilians and everybody else who's not throwing rounds at me and my team, it's a good fucking day. I even had to make like a whole ass loadout over this shit, and I called it a New America. Literally, my whole team was decked out in heavy ceramic, full coverage, heavy armor. And we were all rocking battle rifles. Like the brand new 6.5, the Scar Heavy, and the GA-51. Like, that mission was only possible because of this loadout. It's the only reason why. Now, where is my motherfucking watch? Yes. What is it? What should it be? A retirement gift is now a call to action. You're always on the clock, always on watch. Time keeps moving forward, but do you? You can throw this watch against the wall and protest and cause the hands to stop moving. But time keeps marching on and calls never stop. It only stops when you do. Ain't that some fucking truth? And I got the tattoo called Duality. I imagine it's in like alphabetical order. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Yeah, it's in alphabetical orders. Duality. Okay. I want to go see my watch, man. I gotta go see my watch. The watch looks fucking dope as fuck. It kind of honestly looks like my watch that I have. I need to replace the battery in. Go have a look-see. Oh, yeah. That's sexy. Oh. Yes. That took 2 hours of my life away trying to get this watch and the tattoo. Now, for anybody that doesn't know, because of this, that is the good ending. The good ending, and you get that watch as like they didn't say it was, did they say it was a retirement? I'd have to go back and look. But the only other way that I can think you get the other one was by activating the detonator yourself, because I did see a prompt in like one of my other times of doing it, is that I can only imagine like that's how you do it. I think that's how you do it, so I don't know. So with all that being said, eventually I will go to do the program Psychosis, which is multiplayer, alone in a lobby, on hard mode, and I have to do it myself. I don't know how I'm going to do that. It's going to be very fucking difficult, I can imagine, but I'm sure I can do it. So, with all that being said, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it, and I will see you all in the next video, whatever it might be. Like, comment, subscribe. Parmesan, do you want to say anything? That was a hell of a ride. That was a hell of a ride. What did you think? Exactly what I think. So I will go and probably do that all over again in my spare time and get the other thing, the other tattoo and the other watch, I imagine. But until then, I will see you guys later. I am tired. So I'll see you guys later. Peace.